To today's live stream where we are going to be talking about the upcoming seminar that we are doing with PESI Rehab related to dementia caregiving. And I am very excited to be here today. It is a 2-day Dementia Care Excellence seminar, and it is to help you be able to find an easier way to help take care of your patients who may or may not have dementia. And we have a couple of questions that have been submitted that I'm going to go through today and answer as we are doing this live presentation. If you are watching this live, you are welcome to put questions into the chat and we will answer them as we go ahead. So here's the first question, if it can be pulled up for me. Can you provide an overview of the Dementia Made Simple framework and how it simplifies problem solving for common dementia-related behaviors for therapists and caregivers? I would love to answer that. One of my biggest frustrations as a clinician has been the realization that people are inadvertently complicating the whole dementia caregiving process for family caregivers as well as for us therapists. Frequently, I have had students that it's like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. How do I take care of these people with a strong desire to do that, but not an easy way to actually answer that question, particularly for themselves. So I developed this framework using the analogy of an airplane and a flight to be able to explain the whole dementia caregiving process to people in order for us to be able to easily know exactly where we want to start when we're working with people, excuse me, living with dementia and their families. And it helps for us as caregivers, as professional caregivers, to actually be able to explain the process in a much more concise and easy fashion for family caregivers that really seems to make sense to them. So that was one of the reasons I developed this framework to make it easier for both my students as well as family caregivers related to how to explain a dementia process in a very concise and easy manner for families and professionals. So that is the first question for today. And now, where is the second one? Here is the second question. All right, so can I share a personal or professional experience that motivated me to specialize in dementia care and then to develop this comprehensive dementia caregiving program? I love this question because it really taps into everything that I am trying to do now at this point in my career. I have been an occupational therapist for over 30 years. I know it doesn't look like that, but it really is true. I graduated in 1992 from the University of Pretoria in South Africa. And when we emigrated to the United States, one of the first things that I realized was that I really didn't understand cognition and how cognitive impairment impacts people's ability to actually return home. This was when I was working in a skilled nursing facility. And so, as you start doing things in your professional career, you start to learn one thing, you learn something else, and then one day you wake up and then you realize you've become specialized in something. For some people, it's a very definitive decision to go down that road. For me, it was just a one step at a time. I started to learn about cognition, then I learned about the Allen Cognitive. Then I really understood more how to help people with cognitive impairment, kept learning about it, and one day I woke up and I had become a dementia specialist. Now, the personal side of this story is in this process over the last 30 years, the 30 years is how I became the dementia specialist, but over the last 5 years, I've actually become a family caregiver of two parents who have cognitive impairment. My mom had a massive aneurysm when she was 42 and had really recovered very well. But over the last 5 years, I started to notice the vascular dementia creeping up on her. Well, about 3 years ago, I started to notice my dad was having cognitive impairment, and it put me into the role of a family caregiver. And that has really made me want to develop this comprehensive dementia caregiving program for therapists, because one of the things that I've realized is a lot of therapists have a lot of information about a lot of different things, but not everybody really understands exactly how to best help people living with dementia. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but almost, 1 to 2 of our patients are actually people who have cognitive impairment, and then that is just the patient. That's not even throwing the family caregiver into the mix. The statistics show that 1 out of 3 adults over 65 have some form of cognitive loss. So whether you're an outpatient, whether you're in home health, whether you're working in a skilled nursing facility, we are working with both the families that may have cognitive impairment, which changes how we have to present the information to them. And we have to be able to pick up on their cognitive loss when we're working with families, as well as the patients that we are working with as therapists who are working in the healthcare field in the United States. So that was what motivated me to take care of developing this program. And if I can have the next question, please. All right, dementia care involves various healthcare professionals. Can you elaborate on the role of rehab professionals within the dementia care team and how they complement each other's work? I love that too, because we are working in interdisciplinary caregiving, professional caregiving roles, and we have to be the ones that can bridge the gap between the families and multiple other various healthcare professions, including the physicians, because quite frankly, a lot of physicians do not necessarily pick up on the cognitive loss of their patients. And so we have to really be able to work together as a team in order to truly help families who are struggling very much so at home in managing and trying to cope with this very complex process going on in their family uh, units at home. And how do we complement each other? We are not silos. We're not each a different discipline. We are here to help one another. None of us have enough time in OT, PT, or speech to address all of the deficits people have. So, really working together as a team will truly help you be able to work as a cohesive unit to truly try to maximize the people that we are taking care of at home. Whether we be in an outpatient, they're at home. If they're in skilled nursing and they're coming home, our job is to try to help families cope with this very limiting process and condition with their loved one. So great question. Thank you very much for that. Well, hello, Marie. Nice to see you here. If you have any specific questions, please go ahead and just drop it in the chat for us, and I'd be happy to answer them. Um, all right, now the next question is going to be collaboration with care partners is crucial. How can we, as rehab professionals, effectively collaborate with family members or caregivers to ensure the best care for individuals with dementia? I think this is probably the pivotal part of this comprehensive 2-day training that we are working on, that I've developed through PESI Rehab, is to be able to collaborate with family members in order to truly take care of the individual person living with dementia. Because even though probably one of the biggest frustrations that I know I have as a healthcare provider is that we have family members that are truly not understanding the process that they are dealing with. So when we are able to identify where in the journey the family caregiver is, we can tailor our education to them in order to get them to be better at helping their family members. How many of you guys have been in trouble with your boss after you accidentally opened your mouth and put your foot in your mouth because you said something to a family member that they took the wrong way? Well, after becoming Skills to Care certified, I realized that every single time this happened, it was because the family member making um, was not able to hear the information from me at that time. So it's been really helpful to learn where the different stages of readiness is for family caregivers and what we can do to actually increase their readiness. I'm very excited to present that to you guys in this 2-day conference. So you'll have to join if you want to find out a little bit more about that. And now for the next question. All right, what are some practical tips or modifications that therapists can recommend to improve the safety and reduce confusion in the home environment? Well, there are so many of these practical tips and modifications that we can recommend. It is very vast and diverse depending on the um, financial resources that the family have, that the individuals are able to have, you know, I just got back from a 9-day cruise, and can you tell my brain's not working super well today? But there's so many technological things that we can do. Things have truly changed over the years. And so the best place for us to start is just to look at the environment. Um, Yet again, I have a very easy framework to help you with this, but some practical tips and modifications that we can recommend to family caregivers. Really, now we are walking into the age of tech, and I have a lot of resources built into this program to show you some of the technological advances. So, excuse me, come join me in the 2-day certification. And I believe the next one is the last question. I don't want to take too much of everybody's time. I know people hop on a live for just a couple of minutes. So the program includes behavioral management tools to reduce challenging behaviors like agitation and anxiety. Can I explain one effective tool or strategy that our audience should implement in their practice? Well, one of the biggest things that I've noticed is there really are several different models to look at challenging behaviors. And the the best thing that we can do as clinicians is really try to effectively look at what is causing these challenging behaviors. And so I've developed a framework called the Peace Framework, where we look at what's going on with the person, we look at what's going on in the environment, we look at what's going on in activity, um, engagement, whether it be overstimulation or understimulation. And then we look at how the care partner is actually contributing to the person living with dementia's um, behaviors. And then we educate the family related to those kinds of things. It's been a very effective tool when I work with my family caregivers, explaining it to them in this method, because then they're able to actually look at it and say, oh, what is actually causing all of these different types of behaviors? So understanding the peace framework, understanding how you can tailor things and educate the family related to an easy way for them to remember it because it's a mnemonic. It really has been helpful. I honestly really hope that you guys join me at the end of the month in this 2-day certification. It's online, it's virtual. We are going to build our own case studies. We're going to all work on 4 different case studies, and we are going to build out a comprehensive care plan for these individuals that we are creating, to make it kind of fun and different for you in this present in this 2-day seminar. Most of my educational offerings are extremely hands-on. We are all professionals, and I'm not the only one that brings experience to the table. So adults learn by their own experiences. So I've tailored this 2-day seminar to really be more interactive. And I truly hope that you join us. There is a QR code that you can join to register with, and the email or the registration link is on there. So please come join us for this 2-day seminar. It is going to be baptism by fire hydrant. So I hope to see you